Because if the bank had called up and said we're actively being robbed, they would have been here in 2 minutes. They took 45 minutes because they know how stupid it is and they don't even want to deal with it. So, police departments, chiefs, captains, lieutenants that are watching this video, why don't you just have your guys that answer the phone, have dispatch, ask a few questions and say, have they come on your property? No. Are they harassing anybody? No. Is all they're doing taking video? Yes. Well, that's perfectly legal, man. Nothing we can do about it. End of story. Tell people that. Save yourself the time.
Is anybody stupid enough to believe this jackass? Dispatch gets a call. They have to send a unit out. Okay? They ask certain questions, but they're not going to get too involved in a conversation. It's the road deputy's job to go out there and assess the situation in person. And yes, they do sometimes interfere with the calls. For example, if you're doing a drug dealing operation and your supervisor has a vested interest in profiting off of that drug dealing operation, you're going to get called back. They'll interfere with that call. So yes, there's nefarious police out there. Okay, and I know a lot of them.
And the risk. Uh-oh, here we go.
Jason Gutter Trash has a firearm, and he's filming outside of a bank.
How are we doing, sir?
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, Officer Medina, Metro Police.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Officer Medina, Metro Police.
Medina, can I just ask your badge number,
Yeah,
sir?
6536.
Very good.
Hey, sir, so the concern is, they're just kind of concerned what the nature of the filming for, because it's a credit union.
Okay.
If it's something that's ongoing, you guys have some kind of litigation going on. I don't know what the reason is, but it does kind of raise the concern of, consider with all the stuff that's going on with crime and whatnot. Normally, banks, it's alarming because are you guys casing the place out, or what is it that you're doing?
Well, it's very subjective.
I understand.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
Simply because if it was any other building, they probably would not have an issue with it.
Well,
and I get it. It's like it's a.
Yeah, no, I get her concern in coming out and asking us. But do you think somebody's going to rob the bank's going to stand out here with all this?
Yes. Yes, they will. Jason, you've never been a law enforcement officer. You were in the volunteer fire department and you were kicked out for cause.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Okay, because a lot of times.
I don't think so. Therefore, it doesn't happen. No. Speaking from a guy that's unemployed, your opinion doesn't matter.
Sometimes when people do case and do, what do you call it, reconnaissance of a certain area, they do it openly in public because it's lawful. They can. So that's what their concern is about.
Okay, well, I don't break the law, so I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
I don't break the law. You're a liar.
So, if you don't want me to ask, what is the nature of it?
Well, it really doesn't matter. I mean,
it does matter.
Nothing to do with. There's no nefarious intent as far as this bank is concerned. I can tell you that.
Yes, there is.
And then, are you guys going to stay here for an extended period of time, or how long?
Yep.
I don't know until I accomplish what I'm trying to do.
All right.
Like casing the joint.
Something happened at the bank that this is.
Well, like I said, first of all, let me ask you a question. I've answered a few questions.
Yeah. I'm just kind of.
Is there anything unlawful about me standing on the public sidewalk taking video?
No, and like I explained to them, obviously the biggest concern is more of, because it's obviously a financial institution, and that's what they're concerned about is what, obviously you have a sidearm, and obviously when they see that, a lot of people freak out.
In Nevada, people freak out over seeing the sidearm?
Yeah.
All the time.
Really?
We get calls on those. That's why.
Well, you know what? You're in a good position to be able to educate these people and quell their fears.
And like I said, I'm not going to do a big impact at one person at a time, because obviously it's something that has.
Oh, you can make a very big impact one person at a time.
I know.
Yeah.
Because we have been doing this for a long time, and I have not made the impact yet.
You don't know what impact you've made. If you're one of the good guys, you've probably made tremendous impact over the years, and you would never even know about it.
And you're probably right.
You know, Johnny Appleseed went around the country planting apple seeds. He didn't go back and check how many of them grew. If you're planting seeds of...
You are not Johnny Appleseed, jackass.
Positivity and seeds of education and seeds of change, I can guarantee you some of them have sprouted and grown. And you should give yourself a little more credit. Now, if you're planting seeds of tyranny and disaster, those will also grow too. So we've only known each other for a minute, I don't know. But you're coming across as a decent guy, so I'll take it at your face value.
Well, like I said, it's one of those where if people were outside of your house doing something similar, whether on public sidewalk or more or less public act.
Okay, here we have an armed gunman. Okay, he's got a camera. He's in front of a bank. The police are called, and what do the police do? Nothing. Absolutely zero. Now, when I was a law enforcement officer, actually, on almost every call, we had to do a small report, and basically we had to get the guy's name and record the time and the place, because those records matter, and it's amazing how much those records need to come up again and how relevant they are later on. And in this case, it's extremely relevant, but yet this guy does not get the ID of Jason Gutter Trash, doesn't get his information, doesn't fill out a report, doesn't do anything. But when I was a Leo, we had to fill out a very small report, nothing big, and we put in the database. And lo and behold, damn it, that guy's name wouldn't pop up again and again and again. And yes, and criminal surveillance, well, if you're going to determine the difference between criminal surveillance and somebody just hanging around, you're going to need those small reports, which you find too insignificant to produce.
Who would claim to be that? It was not.
Wait a minute. What the hell kind of police you have in this goddamn city, huh? What do they teach you? You just turned your back on an armed man.
You're a Treasury officer.
Yeah, how do you know that? I just told you I was.
Who would claim to be that? It was not.
Actually, in real life, everybody is going to claim what they are not. Okay, in the movies, they don't. But in real life, yeah. A lot of people saw that movie, and we've heard that argument. Well, he said, he was innocent. Who would claim to be that who was not? Everybody.
Access. It would just cause concern, especially if someone was out your house.
Not really. I wouldn't. I'll tell you what. I actually ran a hotel for many years, and
you were fired from that hotel for repeated violations, and for uncleanliness, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You did a piss poor job, and that's why you're not employed now. Cop, shame on you for not getting a case number and not filling out the report and not IDing the guy. You're stupid.
Particular time, somebody was outside taking pictures of the hotel. I went out and asked him what he was doing. He was a real estate agent working on comps.
Cop, you're spending too much time with this guy. You're wasting your time. You're not doing us a service. You're doing everybody a disservice by letting this guy monopolize your time like this.
Another time a guy was outside taking pictures. The owner of the hotel had called him and asked him for an insurance quote that I didn't even know about, and that's what he was doing. Okay. So there's many legitimate reasons somebody would be out. Okay.
So why didn't you give us your legitimate reason? No, because you don't have one.
So that's fine. So just as a reminder, obviously, if pedestrians are walking, just don't
ruin it with any directives. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Just reminding you. That's it.
Don't tell me what to do. Blah, blah, blah. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Up yours. Cop, you've just debased yourself, dude. Okay? You just debased yourself. Have more respect for yourself, for crying out loud.
I need the reminders, but I appreciate it.
So, like I said, it's just one of those.
I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. I can't hear you.
I don't cross lines, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, you do.
You've come across as a very respectful person, so I'm giving that back to you.
And I appreciate it. Like I said, if this was anything other than a positive interaction, yes, we would be obviously dealing with it in a much different
Not really. There's nothing you can do about it.
Well, no. If there were laws...
He's owning you, dude. I hate to say it, cop, but this guy's owning you. You're getting owned by a grifter, okay? Who's armed. They've deployed pepper spray in the past, and now they're carrying the guns, and they're getting more emboldened. And somebody's going to get hurt, and it might be one of you law enforcement officers. He doesn't like law enforcement officers.
We're being broke is what I'm getting at.
Right,
yes, we would be definitely taking a different stance on it.
Absolutely. Well, you're a law enforcement officer, not a feelings enforcement officer.
Exactly. So with that being said, I'm going to let them know what basically you guys have the right to be. I had already kind of explained to them prior to coming out here talking with you guys.
Okay.
If it's okay to kind of get your information, that way we can document it to say, hey, this is who's out here. They're not doing any violations whatsoever. Maybe a contact number, so in case they have any questions, they can call you directly.
No, I actually value my privacy very much, so I don't give that information out.
Okay.
Unless there's a lawful reason that I have to.
No. At this point right now.
You just got owned, cop. I hate to say it, but you just got owned. As unpleasant as that is, you need to clean up your act.
I don't have a reason to basically demand any type of identification.
Yes, you do. Okay, and quite frankly, when I was a Leo, what we learned is you don't get owned. You're not there to get into a conversation. You're there for a specific reason, and you don't want them monopolizing the time. For crying out loud, it's your scene. It's your job. Control it.
You guys aren't breaking any laws, so
Right.
or I don't have any real suspicion.
You weren't breaking any laws? That number one, that's bullshit, and we were always told don't ever say that. Don't clear the guy. You're there to look for problems, believe it or not. As a cop, you're there to look for problems and address them. And, oh, well, you're not breaking laws. You're not fine. No, you don't clear the guy like that. Dude, you're wrong. And your supervisor's wrong for, making you into a shindy little milquetoast, Casper milquetoast, like a shindy little bean rake.
To actually request that at this time, so, but yeah, like I said, they're just concerned about the whole.
Oh, no, I get her coming out and asking.
Okay.
But the issue was, is she told us that she said to me, I want you guys to leave. She was basically like ordering us off the sidewalk. So I just didn't even entertain that. That's silliness. And I had the assumption that she was going to go inside and call you guys. So if I feel like the police have been called, I don't run away. I wait for you. I don't want you to have to look for me. I don't want her.
And here the cop, he seems friendly enough, but the problem is he's walking away with the shakes and the whimpers.
At the end of the day, I'm hoping if you do show up, you'll go back in there and explain to her what's going on, and then she's not worried about it. And you know what? Since you've been so cordial and so respectful, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. You probably know already.
Well, I actually don't.
You don't?
No.
First Amendment audits? Are you aware of it?
I've heard of them, yes.
Okay, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
No, you're not doing a First Amendment audit. You don't work for the General Accounting Office. You're there just getting subscribers to give you money, okay? You're a grifter and you're harassing people. Unfortunately, this cop, dude, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I would have a little more self-respect if I was you.
I'm out on a public sidewalk.
Yeah.
In public, traditional public forum, where I have every right to be, exercising my right to take video and photographs in public.
You know what's illegal? Criminal surveillance. Yeah, that's illegal. And that's why you need to do these instant reports. That's why you need to generate these reports and get case numbers on all of them. And as a former Leo, I'm going to tell you, this justifies a case number.
That's my sole point of being out here. That's it.
That is not your sole point. You're a damn liar. Let's all agree that Jason Gutter Trash and his son Pigpen, or the fairy godmother, are liars and grifters.
So I explained to them before I even came out here that basically you guys have the right to be out here and we could have a conversation, and basically depends on what the conversation
Well, and I hope you understand how valuable that right is. Because once in this country, imagine a day where I'm not allowed to stand on the sidewalk. You're not allowed to stand on the sidewalk to take pictures. You can't take pictures of your kids. You can't take pictures or video of anything because that's forbidden now. Imagine that.
Oh, no, trust me.
The free flow of information, the free press is vital to this country.
Oh, no, and it takes all the men and women that serve the country to keep those rights available.
And it takes the guys that are out here exercising their rights.
And imagine if we got rid of this criminal surveillance from this guy, Gutter Trash.
A lot of people complain about losing their rights, but they don't do anything to exercise them or keep them.
And you're not doing anything either.
They don't exercise them, they go away.
Sorry, the radio was going up. Yeah,
No,
you're right.
Yep. So that's all. I'm just being. You came out with respect, so I'm giving you that respect back.
And I appreciate it.
I don't always explain.
That is not respectful. The way you're owning that guy is not respectful, and this cop is just eating it, man. He's sucking on it. He doesn't realize it, but they're insulting him to his face, and he's just sucking on it.
Myself, but you earned it.
Hey, listen, I appreciate it. Like I said, it's one of those where I don't mind talking to folks all day long. And then, obviously, if the law's being broken, then we'll discuss it. And then if enforcement action needs to be taken, then we'll take it.
That's it.
All right,
Absolutely.
Folks. All right, gentlemen.
And we go on.
And there he goes, walk of shame with the shakes and the whimpers. Dude, you just got owned. Clean up your act.
Out of our way to avoid that at all costs.
All right. Hey, well, I appreciate it. So I'll just let them know what. Like I said, we'll just let them know that they have the right. That you guys
You can
have the
tell them
right.
exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, you guys have the right to be out here, and whenever you guys decide to call it, call it a night, then you guys are good.
That's it. Yeah, just want her to understand that we're, people are free to do as we do, and No laws are being broken. Actually, I'm sorry
Yeah, a lot of laws are being broken.
that they call you, to be honest with you, because it's a waste of resources. You know, sometimes, and the other issue with people calling the police that I have is,
And you want them to call the police for your viewers, okay? Yeah, waste of resources, waste of time, waste of money. That's what you're doing.
sometimes people will call up and they try to make it a little more juicy than it is. So they say, oh yeah, he's got a gun, he's very threatening, this is going.
And actually, they didn't mention that.
But you do have a gun, and you are threatening, and you have a history of deploying pepper spray on people. So yeah, that is a threat. And if somebody calls this in as an active shooter, well, technically speaking, they got a point.
Well, that's why I said sometimes people do that.
They didn't mention.
And then that'll get you code 3. You're running red lights, you're doing everything to get here.
Code 3 is communicable diseases, you jackass.
You could get into a traffic accident and wind up getting hurt for nothing. So it's silly.
That's immaterial. You could get into a traffic accident. Yeah, that's why we have lights and sirens. And why we're taught to, well, actually, we're trained how to drive. To avoid accidents. And you're no expert, Jason Gutter Trash.
You know, it's really silly. When I was a kid, you're probably around my age, I'm guessing. And when we were kids, somebody sees somebody on the street with a camera, they jump in front of the camera and go, "Hi, Mom!"
Oh, yeah, they would,
right?
yeah.
Nowadays, people panic and call the police, so I can't figure it out.
Yeah,
it's very subjective.
So, yeah.
I just think people are being trained to be afraid these days.
They're not being trained.
Desensitize them a little bit from the cameras.
Well, I hope so also, because a lot of times what people will do is they won't confront the situation because obviously they see that you're obviously they didn't mention that you were armed, but they might see that you're armed.
Right.
So rather than them coming out here having a confrontation with whoever,
which is foolish.
They call us instead of basically handle the situation.
And I'll tell you what, man, just on a personal note, I would much prefer to conceal carry, but I'm not from Nevada. So the state that I'm from does not have reciprocity with Nevada, so I have to open carry.
Okay.
It's the only reason I'm open carrying. Otherwise, I could conceal carry. It's much more comfortable for me.
And he will find a loophole to conceal carry.
Oh yeah, it is, and it doesn't freak people out either as much.
Well, you know, freaking people out sometimes is a good thing because it can cause a